Welcome, welcome. We're starting our day 2 of the Unlock Your Sexual Desire Challenge. This is our mission for this training, should you choose to accept it, is to understand the sexual desire matrix and learn how to apply it in your life so you unlock the power of your sexual desire and enjoy heart-melting and spirit-infused intimacy. And the magic happens in application. Just start with the video.
I wish more women knew that after 40, we're not fading away or growing old. In fact, we're stepping into our prime, ready to experience deeply fulfilling intimacy. This is our moment to unlock our desire. I know so many women I work with struggle with the lack of desire, and they feel frustrated in their intimate life because they just don't know how to unlock the magic of their desire. And the truth is, the untapped wellspring of desire resides within each of us. Can you feel it? The deep well of untapped desire potential bubbling within you.
It's bringing more of myself to everything. It's that bigness again, bringing a more total version of me to both myself and others.
Quite a different experience of life, huh? When you bring more of you.
Yeah.
Because, after 40, we're not becoming an old dried prune. No, no, no. We're stepping into our power and becoming the fierce, the loving, the authentic women we were always meant to be. Now that the days of constant childcare are behind us, it's time we put ourselves back on the map. We just need the right keys to unlock our desire and let the genie of our desire out of that bottle. Isn't this exciting?
A real sense of reconnecting with the body itself, coming alive into it, having that aliveness come up and affect everything.
Because, as we age, we have so much more potential for heart-melting intimacy. We have so much more capacity to open our body to love. And as we age, we actually become more capable of enjoying soul-fulfilling intimacy.
More that sense of wholeness, which I didn't have before doing this work. From the feet up, from the ground up, feeling my whole being as a sexual being, a totality rather than something just in one part of my body.
Of course, when we're tired or exhausted, we usually don't want intimacy, right? But what if I told you that intimacy can actually replenish our energy? Do you know that fulfilling intimacy can actually improve our hormonal balance, and it reduces stress? It improves our self-esteem, it creates deeper bonds, and it makes us feel beautiful. It makes us feel loved.
I have to say it's one of the most powerful workshops I've ever done in my life. I'm 54 and I've done a lot of workshops in my life. Teresa rolls very beautifully, keeping everybody safe. She's just got so much experience. I feel more love for myself. I feel more open. I feel like my energy is just so vast. What more is possible? I love that. I love that. What more is possible? I feel more playful. I just feel like I want to dance around my lounge with my cat, or be a bit sillier or more creative.
I'm so passionate about helping women to reclaim and voice their desires, so we'll start living a more expansive life, more joyful life, and more connected life.
It's just amazing. Compared to where I was a couple of months ago, I feel so much lighter and freer, but also connected to myself as well. And I am expressing myself more, which is wonderful. It feels so healthy to actually kind of speak up about things that I've kept down for so long. It brings with it a sense of calm and peace as well. I feel like I float more every day as I move around. So thank you, Teresa.
I absolutely love sharing that with other women because I know the impact of it. Because I know once we feel attractive, once we feel desiring, desirable, and we feel confident in asking for what we want, our life just transforms.
Being more connected to myself, more connected to living authentically, both in myself and with others, more meaning. I know I'm answering my needs for connection in a different way because I don't want inauthentic connection now. What we're experiencing working with you is boundary breaking, not just personally but culturally. Huge, It's celebration or excitement.
There's something incredible about the way she works and the techniques that she gives so that you're in control of everything. You have everything inside you, and it's the techniques to help you draw it out in these practices so you're in complete control of your own journey and your own healing.
it's definitely opened stuff up for me, and I want to continue on this journey being my true self, love myself fully. It's helped me so much. I highly recommend this course for anybody who wants to grow. Growing is amazing. Thank you, Teresa. You are a bundle of love, and all the best to the beautiful people out there.
More wonder, more magic, more possibility.
Okay, here we are. Isn't it beautiful to hear these women talking about more magic, more possibility, more beauty? And today is our day number 2 of Unlock Your Sexual Desire Challenge. And yesterday we looked at the sexual desire matrix, and today we're going to look at our brakes and accelerators. And all the trainings take on each other. So if you're here live, beautiful, welcome, welcome, welcome. So happy to see you here today. And at the end of today, it'll be good if you go back and actually watch the number 1 training, because it is going to give you more information. Yeah. So welcome, and please do comment, do engage with me. It's nice to see your questions. Nice to see that you're right here with me. Really beautiful to share this information with you, because I know how much it can change our life experience. The more connected we are to our sexuality, to our bodies, to our hearts, the more joyful and fulfilling our life is. Yeah, the more meaning we start to have. So I'll just share the slides with you, and we go into the session. And please ask your questions, keep on interacting. So nice to see interactions in the Facebook group. It's so beautiful for me to see how other women, how you're supporting each other, because I know that's the only way we can shift things. We can't do it by ourselves, but we can really do it when we're together with other women as a group, because that gives us so much more power and energy. Yeah. And in our outside body shaming culture and kind of sexualized culture, is so beautiful when we can support each other, so we can bring more heart into our sexuality. Yeah, because that's, I see, the biggest problem now is that our heart is disconnected from our sexuality. So here we go. Let me know if you can see the slides. Keep on asking your questions. And so this is a 5-day training, and today is the day 2. And that's where we've been. Yesterday we looked at the Unlock the Power of the Sexual Desire Matrix. And today we're going to look at identifying your brakes and your accelerators. And then tomorrow is a very exciting day. We're going to look at your light sexual desire blueprint. And I know some women that just doing the sexual desire blueprint quiz, they got so much out of that, and they could experience different level of intimacy with their partners just knowing their blueprint. So it's really powerful. And then the day 4, we're going to go into identifying your sexual desire blueprint, shadow sexual desire blueprint, which is, again, hugely important, because that's what's going to give you information about, okay, what do I need to remove? Yeah. So that my energy, my feminine energy can start flowing, my desire can start flowing. And then on the last day, we're going to create a personalized sexual desire map where we can bring it all together. Okay, and so today you're going to understand what accelerates your desire, identify your brakes, I didn't spell it right here, and gain clarity to prepare for deeper exploration of your sexual desire blueprint tomorrow. Yeah. And this is our mission for this training, should you choose to accept it, is to understand the sexual desire matrix and learn how to apply it in your life, so you unlock the power of your sexual desire and enjoy heart-melting and spirit-infused intimacy. And the magic happens in application, yeah? And also, while you listen to this information, there will be a lot of aha moments. So please take your pen, take your journal, yeah? So start, whenever you hear something that's like, oh, write it down, because you're going to forget it. And it's just so important for us, those aha moments. They can open something new, something more beautiful in us. And also, right, as part of this challenge, I invite you to collect all the XP points, and that's on the membership site. If you don't have access to the membership site, you should, but you can private message me, you can email me. And then I invite you to engage in our Facebook group, and then you'll be able to win the relationship reboot package. And it's valued at $500, where I'll work with you, with your partner or by yourself. We'll have a private one-on-one session, and you'll do a questionnaire that will go really in depth to see the pattern that's running your relationships. And then for the women who is engaging the most on our group, Facebook group, you're going to win the 3 months Blossom into a Sexually Empowered Radiant Woman course. And we start second week of September. I think it's 16th of September. Yeah, and that's what you've heard women sharing today about the experience they were sharing about the course, what happened for them after they've done the course. Yeah, and it's a really powerful place. Okay, so that's why we've been yesterday, yeah? The sexual desire matrix. And just a quick recap, and even if you've listened yesterday, as you listen today, notice what's opening up for you because there's a lot of information there, yeah? And if you haven't seen the training, please watch it later today. And that's the map that I have developed through my research, working with hundreds of women. And we have contextual factors. Yeah, these are the contextual factors. And they are the water we're swimming in. Yeah, what affects us from the outside. And its environment, its life stage, its spiritual beliefs, and community. And all these factors affect us deeply how we relate to ourselves, to our body, to our sexuality. And then we have the core or micro factors, and they are self-intimacy, body love, internal state, erotic love, intimate resonance, and playful exploration. And my invitation for you to choose one or two factors that you want to focus on, yeah, say for the next month. Don't overwhelm yourself, because if you start looking at it, it's like, whoa, I need all of them, which probably is true. If you choose one or two, that's now is like, oh yes, because that's what's going to unlock, that's going to be the key, then you can go deeper. But if you looked at all of them, then you're going to get overwhelmed and it's not going to be useful, yeah? So really choose, okay, which one do I really want to focus on? And with self-intimacy, I see myself, I'm connected to myself. I know what I want, yeah? I know what I don't want. Then the next one is the body love. And it's where you see that my body is my home. I feel safe in my body. I take care of my body. I appreciate my body. Yeah. Sexuality happens in the body. If we're not connecting to our body, we can't go anywhere. Then the number 3 pillar is the internal state. And I'm calm, relaxed, and open, or I'm stressed out and I need to fix this, yeah? And our internal state affects a lot how we are in our sexuality. And then the next one is the erotic voice. Yeah. First, self-intimacy. I'm connected to myself. I know what I need, what I want, what I don't want. But then we need to be able to express it. Yeah. So we can express our desires, our boundaries. Yeah. We don't have to go into pleasing. Yeah. But actually, I can say what I need. And quite often with women, our voice is just stuck in our throat and it's really difficult to speak it out. And that's we're working a lot with this in Sexually Empowered Radiant Woman course, because to find our voice, to release it, we actually, it's beautiful when you can be there with other women and you can practice it together. It's so difficult just to do it by ourselves, yeah? And if it's stuck, then it's kind of too much to go to our partners and really express to them what we want. But we can do it in a safe space with other women. We can practice opening our voice, speaking out, and then it becomes easier because it's like our body goes like, oh, I didn't die. I did that and nothing happened. I'm actually okay. And that's how we can train our nervous system to be more expressive. We need to know that, well, I've done that and nothing bad happened. Yeah. Let me know if that makes sense. Let me know any questions you have. Just looking, I've got this other screen here, so I'm looking at your comments here. Yeah, I've got this big setup here. Okay, and so the next one is the intimate resonance. And it's all about our connection with other people. Yeah, I see you, I get you, I trust you, and I feel safe with you. Intimate resonance is really important, yeah, because female desire, feminine desire is responsive desire, yeah, most often. So we need to be responding to our partners, and to respond, we need to be in resonance with the other person. And then the next one is the playful exploration. Yeah, I play with my life and I share my playfulness with others. And that's where, when there's more play, when there's more openness, our body becomes more open. Yeah, like when we laugh, when we enjoy ourselves, there's so much more openness in us. And that's when that erotic sexual energy can start flowing in our bodies. And that's when it becomes a beautiful exploration with our partners, by ourselves as well. Yeah. I'll just have a sip of water, and if you just listen to Lenny. And she talks about what actually happens here when we really embody this information.
There's a sense of security that I've acquired deep within myself. I've empowered myself even more now than what I have ever known I could do with the help of you and the other ladies that were in the course. I don't have butterflies in my stomach talking about different things with my partner anymore. I open up way more readily and we just enjoy being in that space. I've become softer inside towards my partner. I think it's helped us immensely. It has definitely helped us to form a bond that we didn't have before. We talk about things that never entered our minds prior to doing your course. We've both had a couple of sessions with you together, which also has been amazingly helpful. Definitely more open, more trusting each other more to share what we've wanted to say for the past 3 or 4 years since knowing each other. Now we know we're in a safe haven to be able to do that without any judgment or whatever there was before I joined your course. So jointly, it's been brilliant. We've really enjoyed it. I think that the investment was so worthwhile. I'm thinking about that little prison cell in my heart that I was opening up quite often through the course. It's wow, I can do this now. I don't have to hide in that prison cell anymore. Yeah, it's a fantastic feeling, to be honest. My heart's just a lot softer and freer and more willing to open up to things. After doing the course, I felt radiant inside. I felt as though I had blossomed into a new flower. I'm just more accepting of myself and of others. Before I joined your course, I was putting a lot of my qualms down to menopause, which in reality is an excuse, because we can all get ourselves out of situations that we think we're in if we put our minds to it and our hearts as well. I grew to realize that the menopause wasn't a factor. It was more about me and how I was dealing with things internally. I've gone on HRT. That's helped, but it's not helped immensely. I don't have time is not really relevant nowadays. I know that I can put 10 minutes aside for myself if I really wanted to.
Wow.
So that, yeah. No, nobody else can do that for me. You cannot do it. My partner cannot do it. I have to do that.
Okay. So isn't it beautiful, to hear how our life experience can change? And what's important is that we actually put attention, yeah? We put our time into it and not use any excuses of I'm too busy and life takes over. Then actually we don't notice the joy of being alive, yeah? What's the point then if we don't notice the joy of being alive? So I'm so happy that you're here, yeah? Because it tells me you're willing, yeah, to spend this time to reconnect with yourself, reconnect with your desire, yeah, reconnect with the beauty of being a woman. And to awaken our erotic sexual energy, we need to slow down. We need to put attention on ourselves, on that energy. Yeah. So beautiful to see you here. And let's go back here to the sexual desire. So there's the imagine your sexual desire as a car, and accelerators move you forward and the brakes slow you down. So today we're gonna work out, yeah, what are the brakes, what are the accelerators? Because sometimes we can be stepping on the gas and hitting the brakes at the same time and then wonder why things don't work out. So it's really important today to get that clarity, yeah? And that's the dual control model, and it was developed by Eric Jensen and John Bancroft. And the studies show that sexual arousal and desire are regulated by two mechanisms, yeah, the sexual excitation system, the accelerator, and the sexual inhibition system, the brakes. And the research, they've done a lot of research with people, and it focused on neurobiology of sexual response, yeah, looking at the brain system. And their work demonstrated that people have different levels of sensitivity in those two systems, which explains why, right? For some individuals, it's more easy to get turned on, and while for others, it's more easy to get turned off. Yeah. And there's a lot of evidence that they looked at, and it really broadened our understanding of sexual desire rather than just wanting and not wanting. Yeah. It's actually way more complex than that. And then this research was popularized, and maybe you know Dr. Nagoski, and she's wrote a book, Come As You Are. But it all comes from this deep research on the dual control model. And so let's look at here the sexual excitation system, the accelerator. And these are the factors that naturally turn you on and then increase your sexual desire. They may be emotional, they may be physical, they may be environmental. Yeah. So, for example, yeah, it could be emotional connection. Feeling understood, emotionally close to your partner might bring that sexual desire. Maybe it's touch, yeah, physical touch, sensuality, yeah, in a way that feels nurturing, feel exciting for you. Then variety, yeah, maybe it's exploration, new experiences, some novelty in your life, yeah, in your intimate life. And I know for some women, for example, when they go on holidays, yeah, then their desire is right there because they need that novelty, yeah, because that's the accelerator. Or going to hotels where I don't have to look after anything else, yeah, and that environment, the newness of it can really excite us. Then it could be sensory stimulation, yeah, like engaging all of your senses, maybe going to a concert, yeah, or feeling that light, hearing the music, tasty food, that can excite you and open up your sexual desire. And then the next could be confidence, yeah, that feeling confident in your own body can really open up us, open up that sexual desire in us, because we open up to that flow. Because if we don't feel confident, we constrict around it. Yeah, if we don't feel confident, there's fear in the body. And then, of course, it's really difficult to actually feel open, yeah, and open up to our desire. And then sometimes stress can be an accelerator, and we talked about it yesterday, because if I'm stressed about my relationship, I might want to use sex as a way to prove that we're still together. Yeah, but then it can become really heavy for the partner, and there's kind of nervous energy around it. But actually, stress, sometimes relational stress, can bring that excitement. Yeah. And yeah, environment is hugely important. And that's where the sexual desire matrix comes in, yeah? Because all of the contextual and core factors can either be accelerators or they can be brakes, yeah? Kind of really see how they can be positive, they can be negative. For example, if the environment is good, yeah, if it's conducive for my openness, then it's an accelerator. But if it's a chaotic environment and there's lots of mess around, then it acts as a brake. Yeah. And so then there is the sexual inhibition system, the brake. Yeah. That what turns you off. And these factors shut down our desire, often unconsciously. Yeah. They can be physical, emotional, environmental as well. Again, we go back to the sexual desire matrix. Yeah. Like in sexual desire matrix, all of them can be brakes. If I feel bad about myself, if I have very active critical voice, yeah, of course. I'm so focused on judging myself. My body is not open. I can't really be open with my partner because that critical voice really takes me out of my connection with myself. Like critical voice, when this, I'm sure you know that place that talks and talks and talks to us and tells us how I'm not good enough, I'm not beautiful enough, I'm not slim enough, I'm not making the right noise. That really shuts our energy down. And then we can't flow. So that's critical voice can be a really big break. Yeah. And the life stage, yeah, that can be a break as well. If we have young children, it can be really difficult to actually relax and connect to yourself because all your energy goes towards others. So that's why when we're actually over 40, women over 40, we have so much more capacity for intimacy because we can focus our energy on ourselves. We don't have to give it out all the time. And even though some people say that right menopause comes and that's how we don't have as much desire, actually, because we can spend so much more energy on ourselves and find out what we really want, menopause doesn't have to be such a big factor. Yeah, it actually can be a really empowering time to find out what you want, find your erotic voice, because as well with menopause, right, when we're over 40, we can connect to ourselves more. So self-intimacy aspect is deeper when we're older. Yeah. And so that's the sexual inhibition system, the brakes, and what they can be, again, stress, yeah, body shame, emotional disconnect with our partner, emotional disconnect with ourselves when our sexuality is disconnected from our heart. Unresolved trauma acts as a big break, yeah? This is quite, can be unconscious, right? In our head, we might know, okay, that happened back then and I'm okay now. But actually, trauma lives in our body. And especially if we had sexual trauma, we're trying to have sexual intimacy here, but that past comes in through the body and it stops us. It stops us from being open, from being loving, from enjoying. the intimacy, yeah. Also performance anxiety, yeah. And usually somehow we think that performance anxiety only men can relate to that, but actually it's big in women, and I totally can relate to that. When we feel like I should be a better lover, yeah, I should be doing something different. And imagine me, right, with my work, I feel like, well, yeah, I'm teaching this, so I should know everything. And if I go into that space with my partner, then it's really difficult, yeah. Chaotic environment, yeah, the environment can be really affects us, and we just can't relax. And to open our bodies, we actually need to relax, we need to feel safe, yeah, and then we need that excitement as well. So it's both, yeah, feeling safe and feeling that excitement. Yeah, and so these are all the factors, yeah, that can be breaks as well. And I know, like, and yesterday I told the story how I used to be a chartered accountant and now I got trained to be a sex therapist. And I remember back then how I felt like I was in a straitjacket. And when I was living in that straitjacket and I felt so restricted in my body, of course, there was no passion or desire. It all died out, yeah? So my environment of going to an accountancy office, which I didn't like, and my internal state of not having meaning really suppressed my desire. It didn't matter that I had a beautiful husband, yeah, because internally I just couldn't. I couldn't turn myself on. Yeah. So, and I want to share with you this video, and Nikki talks about how actually past traumatic experiences can affect our desire and how can we shift that. So it's a beautiful sharing. Yeah, please listen to that, and just with your, hand on your heart, because it's such a big thing for a woman to share this.
I'm really happy that we've been having intimacy again, because we were pretty much lacking for the beginning of the course. We didn't have intimacy for many months. I felt maybe my heart soften a little bit. Also wanting to practice being in my body intimacy as well. Feel that desire coming back. So there's more connection there than was there before. It is really big. I'm awakened more. More seeds have been planted for me. I understand now my own responsibility in it more clearly, as well as the way I've been asking for things from a very emotional place in a lot of my relationship, which I feel has caused a lot of disconnect. I feel it's a gift to understand that more clearly now. I do feel my heart open more. I feel my body open more. I feel my yoga practice change. I feel the way I navigate my communication change. So it's satisfying to do this work. It's not easy though. It's also honestly helped me process my sexual rape and my trauma. I could see any woman benefiting from this. Any stage of navigation in their relationships or with themselves. I feel this is the part of our world that we're missing to be taught these things. Everything outside of our life stemming from here. Speaking more from my own experience of my trauma, I really don't think there are many places I ever felt in my life that I could come into safe in this way. And I would just say to another woman, it is a safe space and it is expansive and it is difficult, but they're worthy of that. I wouldn't say that it took away from the experience at all. I think it was just as powerful, even in the Zoom setting. Sometimes for people, this is a scary place to navigate. Maybe it's hard for us to get us up and get dressed and go and be somewhere. It is just easier to just turn the laptop off and show up, and it's accessible in that sense. It's really good.
Okay. And yeah, just so beautiful that Nikki can share her experience here. And I work one-on-one with people, but I know that especially with sexual trauma, with intimate trauma, when we come together as a group, we can bring so much more love, so much more power. We can really shift our experience. Yeah. Because there's a lot of shame, yeah, around our sexuality, especially if we had trauma, and shame survives in the darkness. And when there are other women loving you, being there with you, it's actually so much easier to shift our story about that, my sexuality is shameful, or I have to disconnect with it. It's not safe to be with inside my body. So when we come together as women, it's such a powerful container. And so now let's go through the desire mapping exercise, yeah? Let's look. Identify your accelerators. Yeah. And I wonder, yeah, what is it? If you take your pen and journal, what can turn you on? What do you feel like? What are the easiest places? Yeah. And maybe you if you can't think about it, think about the last experience where you actually felt really turned on, when things felt really good for you. What was happening? And think about it so you can identify, okay, this is what's happening. Oh, that's my accelerator. Yeah. When do you feel most connected to your body and desire? What is the environment? What do you need? Is it music? Is it lights? Is it scents? Or maybe it's somewhere in the nature? Yeah, do you need to feel relaxed or do you need a new environment? And if I put, yeah, these are the examples, yeah. The connection, what kind of touch, what kind of sensory stimulation, what do you need? And just taking some time to write it down. What are my accelerators? I'll just put some music for you so you can write it down. You've got sexual desire matrix. What do I need? What accelerates my desire? Okay. I'm done out of that. And now let's look at the brakes. Yeah. If we identify our brakes. Yeah. So list the things that actually stop your desire, that maybe dampen your sexual energy. Yeah. What thoughts, what situations, what behaviors shut down your desire? Your own behaviors, your partner behaviors. Yeah. And maybe you can't think of it, yeah. But if you imagine a situation, remember the last situation where actually it just wasn't flowing for you, something was off, yeah, you didn't have that sexual desire. So I'm sure you can remember that, yeah. So write down, what was it? If you think about it, if you take it apart, yeah, what was happening? That what are my breaks? Yeah, is it stress? Is it fatigue? Is it my body shame? Is it how my partner is with me? Is it the lack of emotional resonance? Yeah. Are there any other unresolved issues, emotional issues inside yourself? Yeah. So think about it. What is it that shuts down my desire? What are the breaks? And I'll give you a bit of time as well. Yeah. And here are the breaks. Here are my examples. And so if you can think about what is it for you? Maybe you can share it in the comments on the Facebook. Yes, Joanna, lack of communication. Yes, if our desire is responsive, yeah, when there's lack of communication, which is lack of intimate resonance, yeah, when we don't have that intimate resonance, of course, it's difficult for us to respond, yeah, to our partners because our body doesn't want to respond. I don't feel safe enough, yeah, I don't feel good enough with you, and then I shut down. So the focus needs to be on how can we create that intimacy, emotional intimacy between us, yeah. And so that's the dual control model, yeah? So I wonder what opens up for you as you learn about it, yeah? And then the dual control model, right? If we can look at different variations, and that quite often, like as I talk about this, see what opens up for you. And thank you, Sia. Thank you, Chase. Thank you for commenting. Yes. Yes. Chase says that last time she shut down, when she eaten too much and she felt bloated and uncomfortable. Of course, yeah, if I'm not okay in my body, that's my internal state. If that doesn't feel so good, then how can I be intimate, huh? And so what happens here, that some women have high excitation and low inhibition system, yeah, that's what can happen. And then for someone who is, yeah, highly sensitive to sexual excitation, arousal can come easily and often, especially if I have low inhibition, yeah. And these people can get turned on so easily. Just even suggestive thoughts, yeah, or touch, or just seeing something sexy. And they might feel immediate rush of desire, for example, when their partner just flirts with them. And since inhibition is low, they're less likely to be distracted by stress or by self-consciousness, yeah. They can really enjoy the moment. So high excitation and low inhibition, that's where desire just flows so freely, there are not many breaks, yeah. But at the same time, women with this system, they can take many risky behaviors and they can be a bit more promiscuous, and that doesn't feel good for them because the excitement is just, it's so easy and the brakes are so low, yeah, that they can get themselves in a situation that actually they're not, happy with afterwards. So then the next combination could be that you have low excitation system and high inhibition, yeah? And that's the flip side. So you've got low sensitivity to excitation, but there are a lot of breaks. And then, of course, you're going to struggle with feeling aroused. And what they might need is they need more time. They really need to feel right. They need to have right conditions. They need to feel desired, yeah? So then they can feel desire. And like things like stress, body image concerns, worries about their performance can really shut them down because they have high inhibition system, yeah? And, for example, this person can be in a romantic setting, but they feel too anxious about their appearance or maybe too distracted by worries about work, and then they can't get turned on. So if this is you, you really need to know yourself, yeah? And it's like, okay, what are my breaks and how can I actually manage my breaks? And what is my accelerator and how can I bring more of that? We really need to start focusing on, okay, I really need to bring more accelerators because I have low sensitivity to them, yeah? And tell me what happens, like as you listen to this, please, yeah, post, comment. It's nice to see your comments. And even if you have a question, if you're on Zoom, you can ask a question and we can just do the voice question, or you can type your question in the chat so I can answer that. So the next combination is high excitation and high inhibition, yeah? So some people might have high sensitivity in both systems, and that can create a really complex experience, yeah? They get turned on easily, but then they get shut down very easily as well. So imagine someone, right, feels a strong arousal, and I'm right there and we're kissing passionately, but then suddenly they feel so inhibited because they remember a stressful situation at work. Yeah. So for them, balancing the excitement and inhibition can be challenging. And then it's kind of confusing for the partner as well. Yeah, I've got this, yeah, high accelerator, and then whoa, it drops down so quickly. And it can be confusing for you as well. So knowing that this, oh, I have actually, yeah, I have high sensitivity in both systems, and that's why it's happening. There's nothing wrong with me. And that's the biggest message I'd love to give you. Yeah, that there's nothing wrong with you. Yeah, we have all different systems, different sensitivities. And so then the next one is low excitation, low inhibition. Yeah, so that's someone with low sensitivity in both systems, and they might experience muted sexual response. Yeah, they don't feel arousal as intensely or frequently, but also they don't get turned off as easily by stress or other inhibitors. Yeah. And so these people, they enjoy sex, but it might take more effort, more time, right circumstances to feel fully engaged and excited. Yeah. And so understanding these differences can really help you to understand yourself, your partner, and navigate your sexual experiences with more awareness, with more compassion, and knowing that your response is unique. So let me know if there are any questions around this. How does this land? How does this resonate? What opens up for you when you hear that? The most important piece, there's nothing wrong with you. We're all different. We all have different systems, yeah? Let me know what resonates. And now I'd love you to think, do you notice that you have more accelerators or more brakes in your life? And how do these factors affect your ability to actually feel desire? Take again your journal, write it down. And also, how can you create space for more accelerators and lessen the impacts of the brakes? Yeah. As you know this, what can you do? Yeah, and beautiful, Natasha, saying that I need to remind myself there is nothing wrong with me. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with you. And if we have the thought there's something wrong with me, that's a break. Yeah, that's what's going to shut us down. So really becoming aware of that. Yeah, definitely more breaks. And usually we have more breaks, especially, yeah, and I'd imagine women who are attracted to this class, yeah, would have more breaks. Yeah. So how can I create more space for accelerators and lessen the impact of brakes? What do I actually need to do? Write down, yeah? Put a couple of things there. Because then you'll be able to actually talk to your partner about this, yeah? How can we, yeah? Because this is my system, yeah, this is how it works in me, this is what I'm responding to. How can we bring more accelerators and how can we lessen the brakes? What do we need to do together? What can I do by myself? Okay, and so that's something for you to explore, huh? And that'll be our home play as well. And I totally know that's in our full power to open our bodies and hearts to love, huh? And to find your sexual voice and to express it, yeah? Because then we can invite our partners into that intimacy with us, heart melting, spirit infused intimacy. And I just can't stress this enough, but we really need to open our bodies to love. Yeah. It's our job. Yeah. We can't wait for our partners to do that for us. They can help us with that, but it's not their job. We actually need to learn about ourselves and know, okay, this is what opens me up. This is what I can do. And especially if we have low excitation system, what's important that you feel that openness through the day. So you don't just come to your partner at -10, yeah, and then somehow you have to go to +10. If you still keep connecting to your body through the day, if you think about, okay, what brings me openness, what brings me pleasure, then you can keep your level at 0. You can keep your level at 5. And then when your partner is there with you, it becomes so much easier to open up to intimacy. So it's so much of what we can do for ourselves. It's our responsibility. Yeah. And I really thank you for being here because it tells me that actually you're willing to look at what part am I playing? Yeah. What can I do about that? Yeah. And this is our home play for day 2. So identify your 3 accelerators, identify your 3 brakes. Please do share them on our Facebook group and support 3 other women who shared on our Facebook group. And as a reminder, that's my bribery for you, yeah, because I know it's so good for you and we get so distracted. If you collect all the XP points on the membership site, you keep the challenge. And then if you engage in our Facebook group and share, then you're gonna win. One of you is gonna win the relationship reboot session where I'm gonna look at your pattern in your relationship. If you're single, in your past relationship, so you don't repeat it. If you're a couple, then in your current relationship, we're gonna see the cycle that runs your relationship and how can you create something more beautiful. And also for the woman who engages the most, you're gonna win one space in my 3-month course, Sexually Empowered Radiant Woman, which starts 16th of September. And it's a beautiful course where we can really go deeper and you can start seeing changes in your life. Yeah, when we come together and we'll be talking to each other and I'll be right there with you, other women will be right there with you. And that's when this work becomes just from information, we really go into transformation. Yeah. And so this is where we've been. Yeah, today was day 2, identified blocks and accelerators. And tomorrow we're going to go into your light sexual desire blueprint. And it's a really beautiful day tomorrow. Highly recommend you join us live. You can ask your questions. And it's really enlightening. To know your light sexual desire blueprint is really enlightening. And I'll teach you more about what it means for you and how you can accelerate your desire more knowing it. Yeah. So let me know if there are any questions here in the chat, on Zoom, and the Facebook. I'm just checking the Facebook right now. Let me know your questions. Okay. So I'm seeing. And Joanne, we do have differences in our sexual desire, yeah? So there's one partner who's got more desire, the other partner who's got less desire. And I also know that as women, the more we step into our feminine energy, the more we become invitation for love, the more willing they are to come and be with us in that intimacy. And if our desire is kind of overwhelming, yeah, if we kind of put it out and we go into the chasing place, then it's more difficult for them to step into the space. So I don't know what your situation is, but quite often if we connect our sensuality, we come back to our feminine energy and we open our hearts, our bodies, then they're more willing to step forward and be in that experience with us. Yeah. And they need to feel that actually, yes, they're meeting us and they're successful. Yeah. And I don't know, like I'll need to know a bit more about you, Joanne, what actually happens for you. But quite often, the more we connect our heart to our sexuality, the more we become an invitation for love, the more our partners are willing to respond, even though, of course, there are differences in the desire. Yeah. And so what I want to leave you with is don't wait for heart melting sex, cause it to happen in your life. This is my email. If you have any questions, you can private message me, you can email me. And also I've decided that during this challenge, if you're thinking about doing deeper work, if you want to talk to me about where you're at, what's going on with you, I'm going to offer you one free session, Zoom session. So I'm going to post a link somewhere under this video. So if you want, you can book a session, we can have a chat and just see where you're at, because everyone is unique. Yeah. I'm kind of giving you this big concepts, but your situation is unique. And when I talk to you, I can really tell you, okay, this is the next step forward. This is what you need to do to shift the dynamic. Yeah. Okay. So let me know if there are any more questions, and that'll be it for today. Yes, and there will be a replay. So this replay, it sits right now in the Facebook group, and I'm going to edit it a bit. So to remove the beginning part, and you can watch it. And please come tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be a super exciting day. That's the day I love the most, the Light Sexual Desire Blueprint, because there's a lot of excitement and a lot of joy and light in that day. So yeah, thank you so much for participating. Come back tomorrow, invite your friends. Yeah, the more we talk about this topic, it's just so important. We keep on talking, yeah, and then we can start finding our voice. We can drop all the shame, because we talk about everything, but actually to talk about sexuality is such a big piece. So happy for you to be here with us, and big hug, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Let me know your questions. on the Facebook group. I'll be right there. Yes, thank you, Elizabeth. Thank you, Joanne. Thank you. Yes. Big hug. Bye.